episode of the audio guide, I outlined the importance of the Franco-British relationship to the novel series. In today's episode, we will explore the origins of the main character of the first novel of the series, Lieutenant Colonel John Hamilton. John Hamilton is the head of La Garde Écossaise, and when we first hear of him, we get the impression that he is a truly terrifying figure. When told he will be brought before the Lieutenant Colonel, Gaston, the hapless mail miller, is truly terrified. When Robert Meldrum, our narrator, first meets Hamilton, Hamilton is a mysterious figure in the mist. Later, when Meldrum meets Hamilton face to face in his office, Meldrum is overcome by Hamilton's sheer physical size, and this is an important aspect of Hamilton's character. Hamilton is at least 6'4", 250 pounds, muscular, athletic, with large hands and a broad back. As Meldrum notes, Hamilton is not a man you'd wish to cross. Out of all the men in La Garde Écossaise, Hamilton's reputation precedes him, and he is truly terrifying to the king's enemies. The inspiration for John Hamilton's character developed in the early stages of the book in 2016. At the time, I was reading Hamish Ross's acclaimed biography on a man called Lieutenant Colonel Robert Blair Mayne, who was one of the founding fathers of the SAS. Mayne was 6'4", 230 pounds, with a broad back and chest. He was a high achiever. Before going into the SAS, he was studying law at Queen's University Belfast, and he played rugby for Ulster, as well as for the British and Irish Lions. But he was also the Irish University's boxing champion. He was highly intelligent, an accomplished individual who had a reputation that preceded him. Blair Mayne also had legendary strength, as he is known to have ripped out instrument panels from enemy planes with his bare hands. It was important to me that the man who trained Free French forces in special operations during World War II should be a major inspiration for the character. Hamilton, like Mayne, is from Ulster. Mayne came from a Scottish Presbyterian background, and his distant ancestors were part of the plantation of Ulster, albeit in the 18th century. Mayne's ancestors came from Scotland to settle in Ulster in the 1700s. Hamilton, our main character, is born in 1620, a whole century earlier. Yet, like Mayne's ancestors in the 18th century, he and his family are part of the plantation of Ulster. Hamilton intends to have a normal life, being a fruit grower from County Armagh, where he intends to live his whole life in peace and quiet. But this peace and quiet is disrupted and destroyed by the 1641 Irish Rebellion, which still holds immense importance and significance for Scottish Presbyterians in Ulster. Even here you can perhaps see parallels with Mayne, who intended to be a lawyer, but World War II took him on a different trajectory in life. As those of you who have already read the novel will know, unlike Blair Mayne, Hamilton was born a Catholic. I did this for several reasons, but the main reason, of course, was that in the 17th century, with sharper confessional divisions, if I was to send Hamilton into French service, it would be far easier to do so if he was born a Catholic. Indeed, as we will discuss in the La Garde Écossaise podcast, the real-life Hamilton family in Ulster are very interesting indeed, as they were Catholics from a Scottish background, but also planters during the plantation of Ulster.
This podcast is the copyright of History Gateway Limited, UK.